At one of the largest vintage equipment displays in the globe, enthusiasts from all over the world came to witness tools from the past come to life. One of them was Matt Stetar, whose name you might recognize if you follow heavy machinery repair. Matt, a Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania native, has a YouTube channel called Diesel Creek where he expertly and carefully restores aging machinery from the edge. He brought his vintage Caterpillar 977K, which was just the machine itself without any cab or extras, to the event. However, people are now asking questions about more than simply oil and gears. What became of the civilization that was improving behind Diesel Creek? The polished instruments, growing channel, and enthusiastic projects used to evoke thoughts of luxury. However, where is Matt Stetar at this point in his arduous career journey? The internet has created new concepts and methods in the last decade to encourage people to resume watching television. One of those internet series that had gained popularity in recent years was Diesel Creek. People watched as Matt Stetar demonstrated the use of large tools and diesel-powered vehicles. Aside from that, he provided helpful advice on construction and crafting. Raised in Burgettstown, Pennsylvania, Matt Stetar developed an interest in working with machines despite the fact that no one else in his family did. His grandfather was the only member of the family with mechanical experience, and he knew very little about machinery. Before Matt could learn anything from him, he passed away. Because his two older sisters disliked tools and motors, Matt developed an interest in them on his own. Without guidance or assistance from others, he developed an interest in tools and their operation. Matt made a joke about being the "oops baby," as his parents had no intention of having another child. Some speculated that they were trying for a son because he was born 10 years after one of his sisters. When his parents placed Matt in the room that had once been his mother's sewing room, he understood he wasn't supposed to be there, even though they never said it out. With lawnmowers, hand tools, and toys that he would disassemble and attempt to reassemble, Matt would play for hours on end. He learned by doing things on his own and making mistakes because no one was there to teach him. He stated in a 2022 interview with the Essential Craftsman show that he had always been interested in how things operated. There weren't many tools or pieces of equipment in his hometown, so he made do with what he could find and gained experience in the family shed. In high school, Matt developed a greater interest in mechanics. However, many of those around him believed that office professions were more valued than those in the mechanical arts. He was pressured by his instructors and fellow students to choose occupations that required indoor work and college degrees. Nevertheless, Matt continued to work with his pals on dirt motorcycles and other vehicles, which improved his ability to fix things. Additionally, he started recording films of his dirt bike experiments and initiatives. As early as 2011, some of these films were uploaded to YouTube, although at the time, he didn't give it any thought. After graduating from high school, Matt decided to obtain a welding certification. This phase allowed him to concentrate on a skill he already enjoyed. After graduating from high school, this was his first job. It happened at a gardening company. He started out doing basic construction tasks like constructing retaining walls. He progressed to more challenging labor as the business expanded and began providing excavation and other associated services. He purchased his first large machine at that time. It meant a lot to him. Even yet, the job wasn't the ultimate goal and took a lot of hard effort. Matt then spent a brief period of time working in a machine shop. Even though he had benefits and a reliable salary at that position, he wasn't content. He had his sights set on something more engaging, something that would keep him near tools and the labor he had learned to love. Additionally, he experimented with several professions that allowed him to acquire and apply his mechanical abilities while working in various companies and on construction sites. He frequently disassembled machinery and used what he dubbed the sledgehammer and torch approach to determine what needed to be fixed. During these years, Matt faced numerous challenges. No one was there to guide him. He was still surrounded by many people who denigrated his work. However, he learned from everything he did, even operating machinery and repairing engines. He gained the knowledge and abilities necessary to launch Diesel Creek from doing those early jobs. His past had made him a different person. He continued without acknowledgement or approval. He learned by doing, followed instructions, and pursued his interests to earn a living. YouTube journey. When Matt Stetar was a high school student in Burgettstown, Pennsylvania, he began uploading films of dirt bikes and other extreme vehicles to YouTube in 2011. There was no official channel name for the initial uploads. Matt and his friends were working on ATVs in these little films. Although the $5 a month from the videos wasn't much, it was enough to get him to consider selling stuff. Back then, having a YouTube career was uncommon, and Matt didn't take it seriously. He worked in machine work, pipeline repair, and gardening after quitting YouTube in 2013. These vocations taught him a lot about mechanics, but they left little time for filmmaking. During the epidemic in 2020, Matt lost his job. With more leisure time, he returned to YouTube and created the Diesel Creek channel. The construction and maintenance of heavy machinery became the new priority. After sharing his passion for repairing outdated computers, he noticed that an increasing number of individuals were interested in the same thing on the internet. His first significant film, Diesel Creek, was released in 2019. He fixed huge machinery in it. The channel expanded gradually at first, but the timing was ideal. As more people stayed at home and searched for activities, Matt's straightforward films began to gain popularity. Most of the time, he worked alone, using basic equipment and a stand to create films. People appreciated that he made corrections without revising or refining his early work. Matt's primary job was repairing trucks, excavators, and bulldozers. He frequently purchased them at discounts or when he discovered them abandoned. He demonstrated in each video how he identified the issue, located the necessary parts, and applied his technical and welding expertise to resolve it. His unambiguous instructions made learning simple for new viewers and maintained interest for returning ones. He was quiet and serious, which allowed others to concentrate on the task at hand. He added thousands of new members by 2020. He started earning money through firm sponsorships, links to tools, Diesel Creek hat and shirt sales, and YouTube advertisements. He began posting nearly weekly. By 2021, he was a full-time YouTuber. By September 2023, one of his videos had received over 10 million views. His work on an antique digger he purchased at auction was titled, "Will It Start?" Abandoned excavator left for years. For many years, it had been abandoned. Matt demonstrated how he inspected the engine, replaced damaged components, and worked on it until it restarted. Because they were curious about what transpired, viewers continued to watch the video. Because he didn't utilize any complicated machinery and was straightforward about his processes, it was simple for people to follow along. The nearly hour-long movie featured close-ups of each step. When repairs didn't work out as expected, such as when he discovered a hydraulic leak, it was also straightforward. A video titled, "Save an Old Farm Truck, Will It Run?" had around 8 million views. It was an old truck that Matt revived. He documented everything, including cleaning the engine, changing the battery, and removing the truck from a field. He tested the engine and repaired numerous issues. The ancient vehicle was gradually restored to function once more. Matt was silently happy when the engine started at last. The vast fields and barns in the background gave many viewers the impression that they were in a more idyllic era. More than 7 million people viewed 3 videos. The title of the third one was, "Reviving a 50-year-old Bulldozer." After discovering a 1970s tractor, Matt spent weeks restoring it. In addition to painting the motorcycle, he restored the hydraulics and swapped out the old wheels. It was a large and challenging task. He went over each section attentively. He welded broken components together and used used parts whenever possible. His innovative approach to problem-solving impressed many. When the bulldozer eventually pushed soil once more, it demonstrated the value of consistent hard effort. However, what prompted viewers to view more of his videos? Matt's films were distinctive in several respects. They were beneficial. He taught individuals how to diagnose problems, weld, and fix autos. Neither music nor sound effects were employed. He continued to focus on his work. People trusted him because he was honest. He had the appearance of someone they knew, without trying too hard. People who enjoyed fixing things were drawn to him because he revived antique tools. Since few YouTubers discussed heavy machinery, Matt had room to develop. His lengthy movies, which chronicled his development over time, drew viewers back to observe each stage. By 2023, Diesel Creek had about 700,000 subscribers and more than 150 million views. The station was frequently seen by people who enjoyed working with tools, machines, or manual labor. In order to provide variation to his show while maintaining its core theme, Matt took on new projects, such as renovating a historic church. Those who stayed with him and recognized the true worth of his work were the ones who helped him grow steadily. Matt Stetar's YouTube channel, Diesel Creek, gained a consistent audience by demonstrating his unaffected methods of repairing big machinery. Because he made every step simple to understand, many people stayed to watch. He worked on ancient vehicles, excavators, bulldozers, and other equipment, explaining their operation in straightforward language. Use plain language because most people find engineering phrases difficult to understand. Anyone, even those with little knowledge of automobiles, could comprehend what he was doing. His lengthy movies covered every step of each job. For instance, he demonstrated how to fix a rusted machine he purchased at a sale so it could function once again. Because he took his time and explained each step slowly, people were curious about the outcome. Matt's filming style kept his audience interested. He used a camera and a stand to work alone. There was no background music or sound effects. His cool-headedness made the steps obvious, whether he was repairing an engine issue or a damaged part. He explained why a remedy didn't work or what went wrong. That's why people trusted him. He made no effort to conceal the difficulty of the work. His films depicted the actual experience of repairing a damaged object. The types of tools Matt worked with were also important. The majority of people would have assumed that the items he selected were worthless. After obtaining it at a discounted price, he demonstrated to me how to repair it using basic tools and second-hand components. The concept of reviving something that had been lost appealed to people. Will it start? Excavator Has Been Left Alone for Years is one of his films that captivated audiences. To test if the machine would restart, they held their breath. He worked in a peaceful rural community that seemed to be home to those who like farming or vintage equipment. People were also taught by Diesel Creek. Many watched in order to learn how to weld or fix autos. By describing what was broken and how to fix it, Matt demonstrated how to mend things without breaking the bank. For those who like manual labor, the films were beneficial. His meticulousness in going over each step was commended by others who were already familiar with fixing things. Those who observed believed they could apply what they had learned to their own equipment, even if it was only a lawnmower or an old car. By consistently posting on time and demonstrating that the fixes had been made, Matt maintained attention. Every week, fans could view his films to observe how each project was progressing. When a machine finally started up again, people felt like they were part of the journey. By September 2023, Diesel Creek had about 700,000 members. Because of the tools and Matt's diligence, many people watched. Seeing something damaged gradually come back to life, one repair at a time, held special meaning for them. What Diesel Creek will do next? Matt has made it apparent that he wants to continue in the same direction, unlike some content providers who change careers. In February 2022, he stated that he would continue to create YouTube videos for a very long time on the A Few Points from Perfect podcast. He believes YouTube has given him access to construction and repair jobs he never would have imagined. Matt clearly cares about his followers, and it comes through in the way he talks about them. He claimed to have a large following on YouTube. This demonstrates his gratitude for their assistance. By October 2023, more than 758,000 individuals had subscribed to his YouTube channel. These individuals like his thorough explanations and the level of detail in his repair videos. He has been able to embark on more ambitious projects with their assistance, such as rebuilding a 1957 autocar vehicle or converting an abandoned church into a residence. Instead of branching out, Matt wants to continue creating films like this for his channel that are centered around machines and construction projects. Through comments and shares, people help him stay focused on providing helpful, hands-on content. In addition, Matt started constructing his own store, which will help him in his job. This new shop will allow him to operate on larger and more complex tools and handle the majority of his repairs. He plans to include scenes of this business, where he repairs engines and creates unique parts, in upcoming films. He will continue to produce lengthy, in-depth videos and be able to work more productively in his new field. This demonstrates his desire to expand Diesel Creek while maintaining his connection to mechanical work, which has consistently been the channel's primary focus. Currently, Matt sells caps, teas, and everything related to alcohol on his online store. This store is located at Diesel Creek. Com is for his devoted followers and complements the channel's gritty, labor-intensive aesthetic. Despite its modest size, the store is gradually expanding. It enables him to supplement his income from sponsors like Shell, YouTube advertisements, and Amazon links. More than 30,000 people follow him on Instagram and Facebook, which helps get his work noticed by many more people. This article also discusses several aspects of his life, such as his time spent outside with his wife, Ava Simone, and his 3 dogs. Although Matt dislikes having cameras in his personal life, he has goals for Diesel Creek that include creating more entertaining tool-related videos. With projects like building a homestead from nothing, where he renovates a plot of land along a creek, and abandoned church renovation, where he restores an old church, he hopes to continue. As long as he maintains things like the Komatsu excavator and the Alice Chalmers forklift, he will be able to continue creating movies. The primary skills he demonstrates, such as welding, part making, and machine repair, will always remain the focus of his videos. He believes that individuals can learn and be inspired by YouTube. He stated on the show that he wants to improve his skills rather than merely gain more recognition. Instead than creating new types of art like many artists do, Matt continues to be interested in mechanics and construction. He maintains his focus while people watch him like that. His films, such as the one in which he starts a 1957 autocar vehicle that has been parked for 15 years, demonstrate how successful they are. That film alone attracted over 1 million viewers. Diesel Creek will likely continue significant for people who like to perform genuine work as long as his new shop is being built and the business is progressively increasing. With films that instruct, narrate, and revive vintage machinery, Matt is expected to continue establishing himself in the online mechanical work community. Matt Stetar's finest action to date. Some of Matt Stetar's finest restorations can be found on Diesel Creek, which was shared on May 19, 2025. They demonstrate his skill, patience, and problem-solving abilities. These repairs are frequently performed on equipment that hasn't been utilized in years. Because Matt demonstrates each step, they watch him bring them to life. Every piece of equipment, from a truck to an excavator, demonstrates his commitment to preserving outdated mechanical work and imparting practical repair skills. The 1957 autocar truck is regarded as one of his finest creations. The video, first start of 1957 autocar truck in 15 years, was viewed by over 1 million people. The truck had been sitting in a field due to a rusting body and a broken engine. When Matt first dumped the old oil, he found a thick sludge that required hours to clean up. He rewired the ignition, replaced the spark plugs, and fixed the engine. He explained everything clearly. In a series of films for the work, he created a custom gasket and fixed a gasoline pump. To get the engine to start, months of labor were required. People enjoyed how Matt resurrected a bygone era of American transportation using basic materials. Another protracted project was the Galleon 503 road grader in the 1960s. He displayed it in an exhibition dubbed 1950s Galleon 503 Road Grader Restoration. Matt purchased it at an auction. The engine hadn't been used in 24 years, and the hydraulic lines were going bad. After bringing it home, he disassembled the engine and replaced the gaskets and seals. He used welding, which he acquired from a certificate, to repair flaws in the large metal frame. He taught others how to mend things with what they could find and searched junkyards for difficult-to-find parts. The grader was smoothing a dirt road toward the end of the May 16, 2025, film. The fact that the machine was back in operation after each repair pleased the public. Matt returned with another machine in a detailed series. He purchased it in poor condition. The tracks were worn out and it had no hydraulics. He made new track pins, replaced the hoses, and fixed the pump. Close-ups of each fix, such as wrench work and welding, were shown. The digger was then used to create a creek bed on his property. The project was featured in the May 18, 2025, episode of Matt Stetar's Most Incredible Projects on Diesel Creek.